guys and girls. I know I always say guys, but I do mean everyone, encompassing both female and male audience. So sorry if any of you were ever bothered by that. Anyway, 86 Reviews, back with something a little different, something I haven't done on my channel before. It's more or less the same, but today I'll be taking a look at the E-Adventurer. I think that's what it's called, E-Adventurer Android number 17 and Super Android number 17 as well. It is a third-party company. The KO SH Figuarts Android 17 and Dragon Ball Super 17 2-pack. Just as kind of a disclaimer, I don't have anything against KOs. I am kind of indifferent about the issue. This is actually my first KO purchase, so if you are someone who feels strongly against KOs, this might not be the video for you. I support Tamashii. I buy a ton of this stuff anyway, as that's pretty much all I review on this channel. But when I saw these guys on social media, and after checking out some pretty positive reviews on the set, I had to see for myself. I don't own the original Android 17. Prices for him are insane right now, so this was the only reasonable way for me to pick up myself a decent quality Android 17 as well as the Super version as well. Long intro, I know. I'm sure you all just want to see how these guys hold up, and I gotta say right off the bat, the quality of both figures is pretty darn good. Quite impressive actually. Again, as I mentioned before, I did watch a couple of reviews beforehand, so you know, just to get an idea of how they would be. So I was expecting something decent, wouldn't have bought them otherwise, but the quality is really good. I know I'm repeating myself. All joints are nice and tight. Paintwork for the most part is very clean, especially with the faces and all the logos that you see on both 17, Z17 and Super 17. Which I will show off later. Sculpt work looks great too. Again, I don't have the legit version for comparison, but both figures don't appear to suffer from any mold degradation, which I know a lot of KOs do. You get that kind of washed out, all the details are kind of lost, but with both of these figures, all the details are definitely there. Everything looks really well sculpted, really well defined. First, the good. Just look at these paint details. Very crispy clean, no overspray, no bleeding, just a job really well done. You even get all the painted details like the red ribbon logo. I'm gonna take off the head, take off the scarf to show you guys what I mean, but they did really well actually. Really nice printing right there for the R's, the red and the white. You get the gold buckle there on the belt. The belt band here does get a little bit sloppy, but you know, that's forgivable. They even got the painted skin tone there on the rip on his pants, which is a very nice touch. The shoes look fantastic. The green there is really nicely painted in there, very clean. The shoelaces, the whites are a nice white. Yeah, just really well done there for Z17. Even the scarf here has some shading. Two tones of orange going on right there. Very nice. They did a really good job with the paint job. So Super 17 basically shares the exact same body as Z17 with some, you know, additional resculpted changes, mainly to his collar here. Really well done. His arms, which are resculpted to match his top. You get the Ranger band there on the side, which is sculpted in there. His new forearms, and yeah, the lower half of his pants as well, which is redone. He gets new shoes to complete his look, and the paint job overall is pretty well done. It's laid on there, especially on the arms, a little thick. I had to actually, you know, kind of break in the paint, so to speak, to get those arm swivels going. But once you get it, you know, loosened up a little bit, it's really not a problem. But yeah, I found that the band here was a little thick, and I guess, you know, painting orange over that green is a little difficult, and to get that, you know, solid orange look was a little tough. But the Ranger text here did turn out really well. It's really clean, very sharp. The MIR logo on the front of his chest there is also really well done. Get the silver buckle. The belt gets a little bit sloppy, but again, just like Z17, not a problem. Just a minor nitpick there. Pants look great, solid blue plastic, and the shoes have some detail as well. The laces are painted in, the soles of the feet are painted in as well. So yeah, overall, just a really solid paint job and sculpt work there on Super 17 as well. Just look at the printing on these faces, guys. Couldn't be happier with how they turned out. Again, no paint defects on any other faces, no smudges, nothing, just nice, sharp, clean printing. They've even gone as far as painting the earrings as well, which is another pleasant surprise. I mean, the figures aren't perfect, as I mentioned before. I did find some minor issues with the paint job, mainly with 17's orange armband here being, painted a little bit too thick. The belt, not the cleanest paint job for both figures, actually. But overall, yeah, pretty satisfied with the paint work, with the sculpt work. There were some issues with Z17, sorry. I don't know if this is just my figure, but I found that the left arm on 17 here, his double bicep joint, his double elbow joint, sorry, doesn't really work. You get that there's a little bit of extra plastic, I guess, or the way that it's been molded, that kind of restricts that extra elbow movement here. His right elbow is perfectly fine, works perfectly fine, gets way past 90 degrees there, but just the left elbow here, for some reason, again, maybe because of the way it's molded, a little bit of extra plastic inside that joint there restricts him from, kind of getting past that 90-degree angle there. No problems with Super 17. Both of his elbows work perfectly fine. The other joints are great as well. But yeah, other than that, the hands here in the beginning, they were a little bit hard to get off, to swap out, to interchange. I did have to heat it up a little bit, but after that, there really wasn't any problem interchanging the hands. I think it was just a case of breaking in the new plastic, and once I fiddled it around with it a little bit more, played around with the figures a little bit more, the plastic did kind of loosen up a bit. And yeah, now it's not so stressful, interchanging those hands. So yeah, no problems there. But yeah, overall, I think the new Super 17 works pretty well. I'm sure Tamashii will someday come out with their own Super 17, but I think this is a perfectly good stand-in until then. Sure, it does basically share the same body as Z17, but the newly sculpted parts, along with the new paint job, really does do the job just fine, and makes for a very satisfying figure. Alright guys, looking at the articulation, 17, both 17s actually, I'm just going to be using the Super 17 because basically the molds are the same except for the arms, but you get pretty much the same articulation with both figures, so I'm just going to be using Super 17. The only obvious difference is that Z17 has the scarf, so it will hinder the head articulation, but for Super 17 you're going to get the full side-to-side rotation. He looks up really well, looks down just as well. He does have head tilt side to side, and he does have a bit of a forward and back head motion going on there, which is pretty cool. Looking at his shoulders, because this is an older Figuarts figure, it doesn't have the butterfly joints, but he does move his arms past 90 degrees here. He does have 360 rotation, but because of those softer plastic shoulder pieces right there, you're not going to go further than that, and it does stretch out a little bit, but the good thing is you can push it back down and it does go back in place. He does have bicep swivel here, and he does have double jointed elbows, which is great. Your swivels at the wrist and hinges going up and down as well. Looking at 17's torso, he does have some really good ab crunch actually. Not so much going back. He does have a little bit of motion going on there in the mid torso, a bit of side to side, not much. He does have waist swivel right there. That belt piece, just like Z17, is a separate belt piece, so you can take that off. It's not loose or anything, but it does just sit on there. Going to his hips, as I mentioned before, both 17s do have that drop down hip articulation there, and it does give you a bit more articulation going out, but it really isn't that much. He does kick forward almost 90 degrees. Not too much going back. He does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, which is great. Swivels at the feet. His feet do move down and up. He does have toe articulation. It's really slight, but it is there, and he does have some decent ankle pivot as well. So as I mentioned, you do get two head sculpts. You get your standard normal hair, your straight hair right there, and you do get his kind of blowing in the wind hair as well, along with 3 face plates. These are the two, I guess. This one here is the normal stern face plate, and you do get a smirking face plate as well. All of these faces are really well printed, really well painted, as I mentioned earlier. And you also get his gritting teeth, kind of angry face as well. And all you really need to do to replace them, interchange them, is take off the hair piece right there. The face came off as well, but just your standard Figuarts. Replace the face plate, pop on the hair piece, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and there you go. Z17 also gets all of his original accessories, like his extra bandana, the crossed folded arms, much like SH Figuarts Piccolo. He gets his pistol and his holster. The pistol does fit into the holster. The extra belt with the holster on, and the normal belt that doesn't have the holster and the gun. So with Super 17's accessories, he gets all of the hands that comes with Z17. They're just recasted in a dark grey plastic to simulate gloves, but because they are just recasted copies of Z17's hands, you get all the sculpted in fingernails and lines, which is kind of annoying because, you know, you don't see fingernails when you're wearing gloves, which is another one of my minor nitpicks about this figure, something that I forgot to mention. But yeah, again, it is a minor nitpick, and it's only if you look closely that you do see the fingernails and the lines on there. You know, not a deal breaker or anything, but it is something worth mentioning. So overall, I'm just really happy with this purchase. The set cost me about 8,000 yen, which is about $75, and if you break that down, it's less than $40 a figure. Yes, they are KOs, but again, the quality on these guys is really up there compared with the real deal. I mean, we've all come across QC issues before, even with legit companies. Mayfex, I'm looking at you, even Tamashi. That and the fact that the real Z17 is out of a lot of collectors' reach, me included, this set is definitely a solid option. Again, I'm not in any way promoting KOs. I personally don't have an issue with them. If you do, then again, this video is not for you, but these figures are just too good to pass up in my opinion. Great bang for your buck, and once again, really top-notch quality. I'll leave a link to where I picked them up in the description. This isn't in any way a sponsored video. Just wanted to let you guys know that these figures are out there and they are worth your money. And yeah, that's it. hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hope you found it informative, and yeah, let me know if you want to see more KO reviews in the future. I'll probably pick up an 18 to go with 17, and if you guys do want to see more, yeah, I might make this into a series, dodgy figure reviews or something like that. Before I wrap things up, my mate Kenny Boy from Kennyboys Toys just started up a new Instagram account, so go show some love and support him over there. Subscribe to his channel, you know, take a look at his videos. I am working on a Figuarts Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta speed build video right now, but Japan's been hit with a pretty severe typhoon right now, so we might have some power outages, some blackouts. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. So in the meantime, have a great weekend, take care, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye for now.